Hello guys and gals and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be going over one of the new uniques for Diablo 4. This is the Crown of Lucion. Now the Crown of Lucion has seen some trepidation in the previous patches of PTR and things like that because it has been like horribly broken. And it basically made your damage go like to the moon and back, which is kind of crazy. However, now it's not quite as powerful as it was before. Let's go over the item and we'll talk about how it works and what potentially you could use it for. So the Crown of Lucion gives 873 maximum life, which of course can be bumped up through masterworking. All of this can. 6 to 8% lucky hit chance, which is not bad. It also gives 40% shadow resistance, which isn't really that useful to most characters, but some characters like Barbarian might appreciate it. And the 8% cooldown reduction, which is a pretty admired stat across the board. However, it's not going to be better than the cooldown reduction that's on, say, a Harlequin Crest Shaco. It also has a pretty amazing effect on it, which is each time you use a skill with a resource cost, gain 6% times, or rather 5 to 15% times multiplier, increased damage and resource cost is increased by 30% plus for 5 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. So this means that if you are going to use this, you can of course get a pretty massive bonus of 15% times 5, which is going to give you a total multiplier of 75 to basically all your abilities that are spending resource. And on top of this, it's also going to increase the cost of those skills by 30% as well, which basically means you're going to get a pretty huge bump in resource cost. So 30 times 4 is a 120% cost. So using my skill as an example, like my skills currently cost 25 resource, so 25 times plus 120%, which means that they're going to cost a total of 55 per, which is going to be rather hard to maintain. However, putting this item on will give you a significant boost in damage, and if you are able to offset the resource cost, which there are a lot of ways to do, and we'll discuss some of those, especially some of the newer ones, which are really freaking nice. You can get some pretty nice damage out of this helmet. Let's also read the flavor text here. So, the Prince of Hatred, fair as maggots over carrion. He claims no throne, crafts no realms, reigning over a blackened, bitter heart. Some legends name him banished, while others dread his return. So first off, let's show the damage output with my current setup. So this is my current damage output. And let's just go ahead and get a nice little rotation here. As you can see, I got like 2.5 million crits there. 1.3 million overpower. And we're just going to keep rotating back and forth. 2 million flats. That was a pretty nice one. And as you can see, we got about like 2 million. There was a 3.4 in there. That looked like a pretty decent little chunk of damage. Alright, so now that we've got a baseline, let's go ahead and put the Crown of Lucion on. And let's see how it affects my abilities, if it affects my abilities at all. Can I maintain damage with the Crown of Lucion on? I'm definitely having a little bit of trouble maintaining my damage output. Now, one of the things about this is that because of how much it makes my skills cost, you can see I'm having a much harder time being able to maintain the ability. So I would have to spend some time trying to fix that resource cost problem. I've also lost some of my scaling modifiers in the process too, which is something that is unfortunate. So as I am a werebear, and making my earth skills into werebear skills definitely increases my multipliers through things like the Paragon board with the nodes like the survival instincts and so forth and so on, which are definitely going to give me huge multipliers that I'm missing out on. So the Crown of Lucion, as you can see, can't just be plunked into a build and immediately work, you know, like with grace and measure. It's going to have to be something that you're going to have to put into a build and actually work at it. So you're going to have a way to restore resource other than just simply the normal methods. Now, how would you potentially do this? Well, one way that you could potentially do this, which is really, really powerful, is the new Starlight aspect. And let's go take a look at the Starlight aspect real quick because it's pretty darn ridiculous. So, basically, in the previous patches, the Starlight aspect was kind of a dismal failure. It would give you a certain amount of spirit back every time you healed yourself by a certain amount, but the problem is that It just never really worked properly because it wouldn't restore your resource if you overhealed yourself, which was a big issue. So you had to actually heal yourself for real damage that was actually taken, as opposed to just simply mythical damage that had not been taken. Now, if you take a look at the Starlight aspect, which I don't. Do I really not have the Starlight aspect? Am I really that? Oh, wait, no. The Starlight aspect is a ring aspect. I am a big stupid duty head. So it restores 40 primary resource every time you heal for 20% of your life, which there are a lot of ways that you can heal. You can heal through life on hit. You can heal through Andoriel's Visage. You can heal through, obviously things like the spirit boons on your character. Like, for instance, if you're a druid, you can definitely grab the Masochistic, which is going to heal you. You could also potentially grab things like the Undying aspect, which is something that's available to basically everyone. The Undying aspect gives you a pretty massive 2% life healed per time you basically swing your weapon at anything, which of course means that it's going to take you 10 swings, so 2%, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, et cetera, or 10 swings, and that'll give you 40 spirit every time you swing 10 times, no matter what now. And of course, you can also get healing in other ways as well that are going to help you. Like, for instance, you could be utilizing the new aspect called the Crowded Sage, and you might say this is the old aspect, but they changed it. So the new aspect is you have an 8% chance increased to dodge, and every time you successfully dodge, you get a 20% of your maximum life heal, which means that if you're using Crowded Sage and Starlight aspect together, every time you dodge, you heal for 20% HP, and you also heal your spirit by 40, which is going to be really nice as well. So as you can see, there's definitely a lot of ways that you can potentially restore spirit. There's a hell of a lot more than that. I could go over each one on a class by class basis, but as you can see, there are plenty of ways to offset the Crown of Lucion's increased expenditure and basically make it so that your character can, of course, deal with this problem. However, it may or may not be the best choice for you at this particular time, depending on how your build works. If you're giving up another multiplier that could be useful here, then it might not necessarily be in your best interest to use this helmet, and you might be better off with something else. It's going to be on a case-by-case basis on whether or not it fits in your specific build, and of course it would probably be good if you had a nearly perfect version with the 15% multiplier per stack, because the increased cost doesn't change if you have a crappy version. So if you have like the crappy 5% version or the 6% version like me, it's still going to cost you an additional 120% resource, even though I'm not really getting that much of a benefit from it. In fact, right now, with only a 6% at a stacking of 5 times, I'm looking at 6 times 5, which is only a 30 times multiplier, which isn't really that much. And I'm pretty sure that I'm losing more than a 30% multiplier by taking off the Vasily's Prayer. All in all, it's quite a weird helmet, and I'm not entirely sure that I like it in the game as a addition. In the PTR, it was horribly bugged, and everybody was super excited about it, but it seems to me that the bug may have been fixed, and even if it hasn't been fixed yet, it will be fixed eventually. Oh, yeah, what does the graphic look like? Oh, yeah, beastly looking. Yeah, it looks like it's got a neat graphic at the very least. Why does he just remind me of like a demon businessman now? Because I got like my little collar up. I look like a demon businessman. Look at my demon businessman over here.
Yes, you're late on your payments. I'm going to have to ask you to pay the next 2 payments and also the interest and tear. That's going to come to a grand scheme of 40,000 gold coins. And if you can't pay, I'll take your soul.
It does have a pretty neat look, doesn't it? Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when we're just going over something like the Crown of Lucion. And be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button, and as always, keep watching.